All right, let's go. Lauren Kalil back in the house.
She back.
So pumped to have you.
Let's go, ladies.
Dude, happy birthday.
Yeah,
That was the
happy
thing
birthday.
that's crazy. It was a couple days ago, right?
Yeah, it was yesterday. So I had a great day with family, and my 4-year-old nephew had a Christmas classroom preschool birthday party that I went to, or
That's
Christmas party. That was great.
That's awesome. Do you travel back and forth home a lot, or do you kind of just it's like holidays and birthdays and stuff like that?
I do. I probably go back like every week or every other week. Normally, my family will have Sunday dinner or there'll be something going on. So when I'm home and not traveling all over the place, I like to do it.
They probably enjoy that because I mean, since the last time we talked to you on here and then saw you in person, like you have been traveling the entire world, like so I'm sure they really enjoy having you home.
Yeah, it was crazy for a little bit there. Because did I talk to you guys? Was it in this like early summer or spring? I don't even remember when it was.
I think it was
Time
early summer.
Yeah, and then the last time we saw you was Vitruvian.
Vitruvian, yeah.
And
yeah.
It was really
wild.
cool.
Yeah.
That was wild, dude. You're so little.
It's always funny when I meet people in real life that I'm friends with online and how short I am compared to the rest of the world. So
That was awesome. What did we call you? We called you like bite size. It was
Yes.
like
Yeah.
you're
Yep. Yes. I didn't think you were gonna be that little, but you're pretty little.
5'1" and a quarter, baby.
It was a
That's
good
She
time.
gets that quarter. She gets that quarter
All
every
the
time.
fun size right here.
What's up, everybody? Kenneth,
guys.
Slater, what's up, dude? Crossbat, yeah, Lauren is glowing. She's always glowing.
Mm-hmm.
Plus.
Can we tell if that background is real? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking with you.
Where did that come from?
No.
I gotta know because there's all these inside jokes that I am not aware of.
It does. I mean, honestly, it's so pretty that it does look like maybe
Fake.
it is
Yeah.
whatever, but nobody has that, or I don't know anybody that has that kind of like perfect fireplace background. So I guess maybe that's what it is, but yeah, I don't know either. Vindicate, what's up, dude? Thanks for the shirts as always. And thanks for the baby shirts. Like,
Yep.
Vindicate sent Little G 3 different shirts, and it's awesome, and he loves them, and he's
and Travis, we didn't have a chance to tell you. He wanted to wear he wanted to wear, what was it, Colton Mertens? No,
he wanted to wear the No Plan B shirt
the
to
No
school.
Plan B shirt to school.
And I was like, I'm okay with it, but I don't know.
I was like,
how.
So he put one shirt on. He didn't want that. He's like, I want to wear a Vindicate shirt. And I was like, cool, go get the Savon one. Because I saw it very quickly. And I thought it said just the Savon podcast. He puts it like in the Harley Davidson kind of logo. Super cool. And then he runs in to see her. And I'm like, oh, no. Nope. You can't wear that one to
probably,
school. Nope.
we
Cannot
might
wear
get
that to school.
We might get some phone calls. I don't know if anybody would have even noticed that it was in there, but it was fire. Wild Zombie, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Lauren is mega hot in person. Yeah, we know. She is.
Thanks, guys.
Papa Birch, CK.
Yeah. Oh, Jody Lynn, what's up, lady?
Yep.
Love you. We were supposed to do this podcast on Thursday.
Originally we were supposed to do it today.
We were supposed to do it today.
Yep.
And then
we rescheduled.
You needed to reschedule because of a certain date that went south. So, question, did he actually have your phone number? Did he send you that like message via your phone number?
He's somebody that I actually do know. I didn't meet him through a dating app. Like I know him through like CrossFit and locally. So it wasn't as weird.
Did he know who you were? Like, does he know the Lauren Kalil myth? Has he seen, like, he knows you, right? Like he knows your Instagram. He like all that. whatever.
I mean, yeah, he follows me on Instagram, so he's
Oh.
probably heard like my dating sagas and things I've complained about.
How? Because that message was, I love Colleen's answer too. Like,
That was the most important
why is
part
the
of it.
dollar sign behind the amount of money instead of in front of it? That
was the biggest red flag that we needed to discuss. So
what?
Okay. So let's catch everybody up. That's like,
Okay,
what
yeah,
the
go
fuck
ahead.
are these ladies
I just want to
talking
make
about?
sure you're cool with it. As long as
Yes.
you're cool with it, like
I'm cool with it. Yeah, we're not going to talk names. So
No.
this
No.
could be anyone. This could be anyone. And yeah, okay. So I was supposed to go on a date with this guy and like super casual. It wasn't, I don't even
Which, by the
really
way,
know
as
if-
lesbians, I'm really sad that you broke up with us for this day and not.
But then I came back crawling to my
Yes.
girls.
That's right. That's right.
I was like, never mind, we're back on. So I was supposed to go to a pasta making class. How fun is that? I mean, honestly, I would go do that with most people because even if the date is terrible, I get to make pasta and I get to eat pasta. So that sounds like a win-win for me regardless. And I don't really have high expectations for dates because I've been on so many first dates and they've all been absolute dumpster fire trash in the last couple of years. So, I was like, fine, we're going to go make pasta. I texted both of you. I was like, hey, can we reschedule to Thursday? Because now I have a date like at this time on Tuesday. And so then I get a text message that was, hold on, I got to go back.
Do you want me to? I can bring it up. If you
Okay.
want.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead. Keep talking.
So I get this text message, and there were just so many things about this text message that left questions in my head. First, if you know me, you know that don't bring a problem to me without a solution. That's one of my biggest pet peeves just in life. Mostly we're talking about work when it comes to those things, but I think in dating, it also is super relevant. So he brings me all of these issues with the date, and the other one that Colleen pointed out is when he's talking about how expensive.
Yes.
The date is, the dollar sign is in the wrong spot.
Who does that?
Okay,
Who does
yeah.
that?
So
Psychopath.
The text message, and honestly, I'll probably get some hate about it because, like, oh, you should be conscious of money and it's a first date and like you're still kind of feeling things out. And I'm empathetic to that. I really am. But the thing is, if the date was too expensive and it was too unorganized, this is a situation where you can white lie to me. Just plan something else. Say, hey, we're not going to do pasta anymore. Instead, we're going to do this. And if it's because it was the cheaper option, that's fine. I didn't need to know that. So, yeah, here I am. I'm not going on that date.
Okay, so we've obviously been out on a first date, Colleen and I, in upstate New York. You're in Syracuse. We're in Utica when we went on our first date. I don't know the restaurant Uno's?
Oh yeah, the cookie thing, like in the skillet. Have you
Yeah,
ever gotten dessert?
No, we do the crab and cheese dip.
The crab cheese.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
That's good too.
So good.
You already know that date is kind of like a glorified Red Lobster. If anybody wants to, like, so you know that date for two people is going to be $120, $130 if you want to have, wine and cheese and whatever, blah, blah, blah. If you're worried about $130 to go on a first date, I don't know, then
I'm not kidding you. I've had months and months and months ago, I was supposed to go get coffee with somebody on a Wednesday.
I would have paid 172 and shut up about it.
No, but truly, I don't know what it is, if this is a generational thing or just the dating landscape, but I truly was supposed to just get coffee with somebody in the middle of the week. And they texted me and were like, hey, can we reschedule to Friday because I don't get paid till Friday? And in my head, I'm just like, that's so concerning if you can't afford to get coffee in the middle of the week and have to wait to get paid and you're in your early to mid to late 30s. Like after college, I get it. Funds are
Yeah.
tight, but you are a full grown adult with a job. That just tells me that you don't like finance properly. So
That's
all of these other red
immediately
flags.
Yeah.
when we started texting, that was immediately what I thought. I was like, is this guy your age? Is he from? And then I literally asked, I was like, is he from Utica? Fumbled the fun size.
Well, that came from Crowbar. Don't invite her out and complain about the price. My boy fumbled so hard.
And again, it's not about the money. It's truly not about the money.
Yeah,
Right.
no,
It's
I
the
get
fact
it.
that you're bringing the issue to me because how am I supposed to respond to that? I absolutely was not going to say, "Well, I'll just pay my half." Like I'm too old for this shit. Shit or get off the pot. Let's move on.
Did he ask you out? Like, was that the how? What was
Oh,
the?
yeah.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's actually interesting. He asked me out a couple months ago and I was like, "Oh yeah, it would be fun to get together, whatever." And then I never heard back from him. And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird, but not a big deal. Then he ended up following back up, just telling me, he was dealing with some things. Like he's sorry if I felt ghosted. I was like, I didn't. It's no problem. And then he was like, you know what? There's this pasta making class. Like, kind of took initiative and
Oh, he
seemed.
saw that $86, thought it was for two people, and was like, "Fuck
let's
yes,
go.
let's go."
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm not
it's
laughing.
okay. No, it's okay. I'm laughing. It's truly not a big deal. I think that this is just like another thing to add to, the dating life.
TK Kevin credit card that shit. Yeah, I would credit card it, lie, and if it took me 3 months to pay for it, I would just pay for it over 3 months. Like whatever. Let's go. Every Friday, put $10 on that. Let's Nope.
Yeah. And the whole we can't even eat the pasta there. Maybe we'll just eat it in the car. Sir, what makes you think you're also going to pick me up? I don't know you like that. I ain't getting in your car. That's how you get kidnapped.
Oh, you were gonna meet him at the
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Unless I know you well, you ain't coming to my house. You ain't picking me up. You're not going to know where I live. No, 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 no.
So how do
She
you
can't now. Like times are way different. It's not like before where you can go and pick someone up and
I've had to
bring
change
them on
my
a date.
locks once this year. I don't want to again. It's a pain in the butt.
Oh my
That was
God.
for an ex-boyfriend though. So that was a different situation. So
Oh no. No,
Fuck,
no.
man. Jeez.
That's what I'm saying.
times are hard.
The dating world right now is ridiculous. I mean, I know you just said that you've known him, you didn't meet him on an app, but have you gone out with guys that you've met on apps?
Oh yeah, I would say that's 99% of where I will meet people. I have groups of friends, but we normally will go to a dinner and it's just our group of friends. Nobody's really a lot of them are married with kids, so we're not staying out late and doing that whole bar scene after, or we're
No,
going to
9
somebody's
o'clock.
house.
That's it.
Yeah, so meeting people organically in person is like not I don't want to say it's not an option because I could make it an option and I absolutely could go out by myself or
No,
go
don't
meet
go out by
people.
yourself.
But
You at least have to have a wingman. You
Yeah.
can't go out by yourself. No, that's not
Mhm.
okay right now.
yeah. And I have guy friends that are single that could be good wingmans, but then it also gets weird because you go out with them and both of you are looking for somebody of the opposite gender. But then I feel like a lot of times it can come off like you two are together. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Colleen's
I don't
done
know.
that.
What?
Gone out with guy friends and you think that you're just out having a good time and he thinks that you're out together.
Yep. I was like, no, we are not. No, we are absolutely not. No. And then I have also had to play wingman for my best friend. So we all went out. This is when Garrett and I, either right before we got together or right when we got together, we went out, but she wasn't there. And he got super drunk and was hanging on this girl that he apparently knew. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I don't know you. And if I don't know you, then we played it off that he was with me because I was like, he is going to regret this in the morning if he wakes up with her. I was like, absolutely not happening. And then he's done that because then when we when Garrett and I got together, there were a couple times that I would still go to Varick Street on Thursday,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I would go out with a couple of my friends, and my friend Jeff would go too. And if it ever got to the point where like a guy was being too much and trying to get in my space too much, like he would stand behind me or he would stand right next to me and like be that wing person. But no, it's interesting out there. It's definitely interesting out there.
CrossFit wouldn't approach a girl who's out with a dude like that. Yeah. Like, okay. Oh, all right. So you need a wing woman. That's what you need. Vlad Zombie, I'd get a vasectomy reversed for you.
Hey, I mean, honestly,
sorry, that's amazing.
Honesty is the best policy.
Comment
right?
of the day.
She wants
That's
honesty, so I guess that's good honesty. Haven't found anybody or connected to anybody within this? I mean, you travel so much. You talk to so many people. You're in so many spaces. There's never been anybody that's kind of like you've connected with, or are you so just work focused that you don't really kind of have the time to like get past the work part of it?
Yeah, it's one of those things where when I'm at events or traveling or in the work environment, there's so many people that I interact with, but I feel like a lot of those interactions aren't super long. You know, like even think of that when I saw both of you at Fight for the Fittest, we had very small, quick interactions. And to me, those are, I mean, they're work events. Even if there was somebody that I was interested in at a work event, there is no time in my schedule for anything else but work. Maybe the last night, like I'm thinking of Miami Wadapalooza, and one of my friends, Kelly, she is married. She just had a baby. She's going to be without her baby for the first time. She was like, okay, when we're in Miami, we're going to go to a nice dinner. We're going to go downtown. So at some events, there's like an after party or something. But I feel like for the most part, honestly, I've been traveling so much that I want to be on the quickest flight back home after Sunday. So I'm going to bed pretty early and just getting back up to do the next thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Craig, what's up, dude? Always good to see you. I do want to ask you this because I'm out of touch with this. I grew up in a time frame where there were no apps and you had to meet people organically. Like Colleen and I met at my sister's house and we did the whole thing where one of us was looking at the other one, and then when the other one looked up, I looked down, and then she looked down when I looked at her, and it was just this whole like.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell the story. Tell the best part of said story.
Let's hear it.
Shut up, Jeff.
Tell me. Go ahead. Tell him. Go ahead. Come on. This is the best part of the story. Jeffrey, shut up.
Shut up, Jeff. So yeah, we were all like, my sister has a special needs uncle, and Colleen was working with him, and so she happened to be at the house because she was still helping him, whatever, hanging out, and I was there, and this was literally the first time I ever met my dad or my sister. Like I was just up there meeting my family, and Colleen was in the house.
Oh wow.
And so we're talking and everybody's just kind of sitting around talking. And she's like, yeah, my ex-girlfriend. And so I went, ex what now? Because it's not like it's not like you could tell she's a lesbian. You know what I mean? Like it's not like she looks like she plays softball or, you know, anything. So
and I was dressed up because I was going out that night.
Yeah.
And so I was in jeans and I was all dressed up.
Yeah.
So
I was just like, I'm sorry, what now? You have an ex-girlfriend? That means that what now? And so then now I'm talking. Now I'm really talking and going for it, you know? And she's talking back and telling me like, yeah, we had some problems. We broke up. And I was like, okay, awesome. And what did you invite us out? You invited us out with you.
I was like, I'm going out to the gay bar that used to be in Utica or whatever.
Also, she said gay bar. And also I was like,
yeah, I was like,
okay,
if you guys want to meet us out, like, or meet me out, I'm going to go out with a couple friends later. And
yeah, there was no way I was doing that. But when she walked out of the house, when she got up to leave the house, this is the part that she's talking about, is she was in those jeans and she was walking past me to walk out of the house, and I literally almost fell out of the chair to turn around and look at her as she was walking out. I was like, oh yeah, Facebook.
Yep.
I had to Facebook message immediately after
Now,
that.
mind you, the entire kitchen table was full of her sister's family. So everybody saw it. And then everybody.
I got made fun of. I caught so much shit after that. It was amazing.
But look, it all worked out.
Yeah,
so good thing you looked back.
But my main point of this was, I'm not used to this whole app era. What is it in the app? Like, what makes you swipe right? If you're going through an app and you see something, like what is it that you're like, oh shoot, yeah, I'm swiping right. We're gonna start. I want to talk to this guy.
Well, so initially the apps are designed to promote attraction, right? Because the first thing that you see is what somebody looks like. But I know that is a lose-lose situation. So I go deeper. Has somebody filled out a profile? What are their prompts? What can I get to actually know about the person on the app? But unfortunately, a lot of people are freaking lazy. They don't fill them out. And that to me is just uninteresting. And I want a deep connection with someone. And on these apps, I can't tell you the amount of dates that I've gone on, and it truly for me has felt like an interview, because otherwise these boys will sit in silence. They have nothing to say, no interesting things about them, like won't ask questions. It's not reciprocal. It's really, really weird. So at this point I have deleted the apps.
Oh, you're not even doing the apps anymore?
No, we're done. We're done with that.
Oh, because Crowbar was about to get in that app. He wanted to know what
sorry.
app.
It's deleted. It's gone. If you see one, let me know. It must be a fake account, because we're done there.
Because I couldn't even imagine, like, when is it okay to give them your phone number? When is it okay to say, because when I was growing up, don't get into cars with people that you don't know, like like AIM. Remember AOL?
Yes. Yeah.
AOL Instant Message. And it was like, hey, don't give them any personal information. Don't tell them where you are. And now all of a sudden it's like, scroll at will and get in whatever car, is.
Yeah. This is why I do not let men pick me up unless I know you really well. You're not getting my address. But I didn't tell you guys about, so typically what I would do, my rule was the only way you're getting my phone number is if we actually meet in person. I'm not just giving out my phone number and then having all of these pen pals blowing up my phone. That seems terrible. Like, keep it on the app. But then for whatever reason, this was maybe 6 months ago. It was around like April or May. And for whatever reason, somebody asked me for my number, and I think I was kind of just in like a bullshit mood. And I was like, oh yeah, whatever. We haven't met yet, but let me give you my number. And then the interworkings of the iPhone, when he texted me, goes, maybe this is, and it said his full name, and it doesn't have full names on the app. So what is the first thing I do? I Google this person, because what does any intelligent person do when you find out somebody's name and got to do some research?
Yep.
And the first thing that comes up is that he was the president of a youth soccer program, and he stole between $50,000 and $100,000.
As soon as you said youth soccer program, I was like, there's something happened.
He stole money and was literally going to jail for this. So I was like, wow, good thing I gave him my number and then found his last name. And then I immediately texted him. I was like, ooh, just looked you up on the internet. This ain't gonna work. And then he never answered. I'm like, you piece of shit, dude, get off the apps. You have no business being here right now.
Like, you got more things to survive the no Google era. Like, how did we get through that? Oh my God. That
I don't need much information to find.
I met my wife initially on MySpace. Oh, MySpace was
loved MySpace.
MySpace.
You could I had like glitter coming down. Yes. I put in one of those codes. Yeah.
Then you had your MySpace song that you had to be like, you had to have what was popping now, and then you had all of the different
Your top
background,
five.
top fives. And you always knew when somebody was mad at someone because that
Yep.
number one spot kept changing. Like
Hey, was your
2 through 5 would change all the time, but that number one spot would always be that one person. So you always knew someone was fighting if they lost that number one spot.
Was it your
Mhm.
best friends in your top 5 or was it boys in your top 5? Because I had friends that
Oh.
their rotation of dudes was in their top 5. No?
No, I never thought of that. Mine was my friends, but what savages. I
Mhm.
love that.
Mhm.
If I had one now, like
It would be
Potentials.
right, and then
I
have people
call
like
me.
vote.
Yep, call
Yeah.
me.
Also, I have a friend that like she got divorced after a long period of time. She's my age, she's in her 40s or whatever, and she has a top 5 rotation on the apps. Like no problem. Like she's just like, "Oh, you're busy. I'm a DM this guy, I'm a DM that guy." No, and she's living her best life right now. And I was like, "Are you living your best?" But she feels good, so okay, fine. And
And the
then
thing is, everybody kind of has phases. I've gone through the phase where, yeah, I didn't want a boyfriend. I just wanted to meet new people. And like dating was very careless and just not intentional. Where now I'm at the point in my life where I would like to be in a serious relationship with the hopes to eventually settle down, have a family, all those things. So,
do you ever feel like you've been in that phase of I don't want a boyfriend and maybe missed out on that dude? I've thought about that throughout. I mean, before you, babe, before you. But like
stirring the pot in here, stirring the pot in here.
just asking.
She ain't going nowhere.
I'm not. It's scary out there.
Mm-hmm.
There was one guy that I hurt pretty bad that we were just never on the same page. We also didn't live in the same area, which complicated things and why in my head I was like, well, we can't date. You live in like really, really far in the same country, but on the total opposite end. And I think I was still kind of going through my own shit. I still hadn't really like figured myself out through therapy and worked through other relationship traumas that at times I'll think about that relationship, but not that it would have worked out, but more of, oh, I was in a really bad place that this was just like not healthy for either of us.
Well, that was something that I was wondering because for you, you travel so much and your work comes first and your work is very much who you are. It's a part of you. And so that would take somebody that would be okay with as much as you travel and having those times where it's like, hey babe, I'm home literally for 2 days and I'm jumping on the next plane. And then you come back from that one, that like the next one and whatever. And sometimes you even go from state to state to state to state and don't even come home. Like you literally are just traveling. Would that change once you got into a relationship? Or do you feel like that would be something that you see yourself doing for a very long time and really looking for a partner that can be okay with how crazy your work schedule is?
Yeah. I think in this past calendar year, I had 26 weeks on the road. And to me, that was too much, regardless of if I'm in a relationship or not. That was too much. It got overwhelming at times, and I felt like I wasn't my best self sometimes just because I didn't have a reset button because I was consecutively going from competition to competition to competition. So now going into the next year, I'm more aware of how to book my calendar and have a little bit more awareness of what my capacity truly can be to be my best self. And of course, like these events are hiring me, I want to be the best for them too. The last thing I want is to show up burned out at an event. So I would definitely still travel. I don't think in the foreseeable future, not doing what I love, which is covering these events, is going to end. But if I was in a serious relationship, maybe the dynamic would change slightly in the sense of, yeah, I mean, some of the trips truly I'm like, it doesn't make sense to go home in between. I'm just going to extend this trip, where I probably would make it more apparent to come home in between them. And even if it's a day or two, make it work for the relationship. But in the same breath, I know that my career isn't for everyone. And I know that it would take a very strong partner to trust me when I'm on the road and respect certain things about my job and just how much of it kind of is in the public. Even, I mean, coming on here and talking about my dating life and, posting on Instagram and, there's a lot of access to different parts of my life that I think it would need to be a very strong person to deal with that in general.
Just so you know, if you had a person, I would never ask you these questions on air because I know that would not play. You know what I mean? Like, unless he was super cool and wanted to come on and answer the questions too, like I wouldn't do that.
Well, that was something that I wanted to ask you too, is that because you are such a public figure in so many different spaces, tactical, CrossFit, small events, big events, games, all this type of stuff. And a lot of people know who you are, and you do allow a lot of people into your life and into your space. Do you feel like that it would be more important for you with your serious relationship once you get in there to almost respect it by keeping it a little bit quiet for a little bit and then allow, whether it's a little bit at a time or if you guys make the decision together that like, this is the one part of my life for a little while that I just want to keep private?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, even the last guy that I did date, I would say people didn't really know about him until a couple months into the relationship. Just because as much as I want to be authentic and I want to have those connections with people, whether it's through the internet or through events that I meet people, I also do have parts of my life that are private that nobody knows about except for, my tight-knit friends or family. And I do, there is a balance. It might not seem like there is, but there truly is. And if I was in a relationship, that would be our private life. And there's certain things that obviously I'm not going to share. And there would be conversations around that, I'm sure.
Hey, just for fun, because I've always wondered if this is really true. Have you ever done the movie thing where you'll go out on a date and have like a code word with your best friend, and if the date's going south, they call you and fake an emergency so that you can get out of the date?
My sister is my 911 emergency person.
Hey,
Every time. Every time.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was
it's
curious.
funny because
yeah.
So there's that. And then I remember in college when me and my girlfriends would go to a bar or go to a club, we had the code. We would like be on the dance floor. You can't really see. And do like a big C for creeper if somebody weird was dancing behind us. And then like the other friends would like shift over and move in. So like the guy couldn't get to the girl.
That's funny.
Hey, listen, women have to have code. You have to have code words.
You gotta have the codes.
Because this is the other thing I wanted to ask. Because obviously I'm a 5-star lesbian, so I've never had this problem. But you guys can probably answer this too, though. Can you tell, like, if you're on a first date or you meet a guy at a bar that you're into and you're dancing or whatever, and can you tell if they're looking to get laid on the first date? Is it? Oh, you can. Oh yeah.
Oh, you know that shit pretty quick.
Very
They
quickly.
don't
Really?
They don't hold back. Yeah. I forget, there was one date that I went on, and within the first 10 minutes, the guy asked me if my boobs were real. I'm like,
okay, Olivia, fair.
Yep.
What in the world?
They start to get very touchy very quickly. All of a sudden, it's like nobody knows anybody, and then they get very, very handsy. Like, and it's not just like arm around the shoulder. It's like arm around the shoulder and leaning on you, and then the hand goes from the shoulder to the back behind the ribs, and then it goes all of a sudden, and then it's on your hips and on your ass. And I'm like, wait a second, hold on. Yeah,
I don't even know your middle name, sir.
Yeah. I barely can remember your first
name. Last name.
Right.
Yeah, I can barely remember your first name. I don't know your last name, so I haven't been able to Google you yet. Like, keep your hands in your space.
Yep. Oh yeah, you can tell.
I was curious because they always do the thing with us where it's like women can tell if they want to sleep with you immediately, or like in the first 5 minutes, women can tell if they want to sleep with men. But I was just curious about that. If women could have the same superpower, and it's like you can tell that men want it on the first interact or like the first night out or date or whatever. So, okay, fair, got it. Because that's something that as women Jonathan Ortega, all guys want to try to get laid on the first date, no matter how nice the guy is.
But
okay.
some of them are respectful and don't try. Unless that's what you want. And there's nothing wrong with that either.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
You sometimes you want to go out and get laid, and if that's your journey, that's fine. But sometimes you want to go out and you're looking for a connection, and
That's
there's
I
nothing wrong
have
with that
never,
either.
right? I have never slept with anybody on the first date for women. Like that's the drinking game that, and you just look around and see the girls that, and it's nobody cares, but
No, do your
it's,
Right.
thing.
Whatever makes you happy.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dating's a mess.
Have you ever been set up
God.
with someone by a friend? I'll take that as a yes.
Made my husband wait 6 weeks. There you go. That's what's up, lady.
Olivia for the win.
Yeah.
Maybe unintentionally or set up in ways that I wasn't aware to.
Mm. So when did
One
you
of
find out?
those.
Like on the date?
Like, no, like there were seeds that like friends were planting
Oh,
that I wasn't aware of
okay.
Oh,
until then. And I realized the seeds were there.
you were on a date and like you didn't even realize you were on a date.
Kind of. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, wait, what is this? What am I doing with my hands now? Ah.
I've had a date, like Colleen and I, our first date didn't go great. Like it was
Why? What happened? What was your first date?
Our first,
Our first official date?
yeah, Red Lobster.
Yeah.
Red Lobster.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's
Yeah,
right.
fire Red Lobster. It was.
Yeah, but I got sick.
Yeah,
I got
she was
sick
so
'cause
nervous.
I was so nervous. You have to
Aw.
remember, I had never been like on like an official date like that before. You know what I mean? Like you meet people and then you hang out, you talk to them, and then all of a sudden like you're dating, or you meet them through friends and you continue to hang out with the same group of friends and then you start dating. Like I never went on an official date. So I went on my first official date with her and I was so nervous.
And I did the
was
things you're
so
supposed to do.
sick.
It's supposed to be dinner.
Yep.
It's supposed to be, and the nicest place to go to in Utica is Red Lobster.
Yeah.
Like there's a,
Yep.
you know what I mean?
You got to go back. There's some other fire places now.
Well, now there is.
Yeah. Now,
It's developed now, but back in the day, yeah. Not
What's the one that's on? It's like on the top of the building.
Ocean Blue.
Yeah, kind of
that's
cross that.
So good.
Kind of.
Love that.
So good. I took my aunt and uncle to brunch there. One of the last times I was there. It's so good.
I love it. And in the summer when you can go on the patio and they make great sangria and other mixed drinks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice there. Yep.
So I thought it was a great first date. Like I had no problem with it at all. Like she was okay, fine, like whatever, we'll go home. She was absolutely mortified about it and was like, "Oh my God, I'm never going on a date again."
Yep.
And have you ever had that happen where it's like one person the date went great and the other person like you thought the date was horrible, he thought it was great, or vice versa, and it was just like, oh, is anybody texting anybody? Did somebody ghost? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I've definitely had it go both ways.
It's crazy. Like you just don't know how to react. You're like, oh my God, they're not responding to me. I mean, thankfully, I absolutely was like, hey, are you okay? Are you feeling better? Are you so like I didn't.
Oh, you put in the work. You asked all the right questions.
Yeah, I did.
We were already together by then, anyways. So
no, we weren't.
Yes, we were. Weren't we?
No.
Oh, officially.
No, we weren't officially.
I wasn't
we weren't
officially.
Facebook official.
Oh, yeah.
your
When you
girlfriend.
change your status.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't even know how to change a status, to be honest. I was
think it
not
was-
like.
Well, then by the end of that trip, on your way home, you asked me to be your girlfriend. I was your girlfriend at the end of it. So that's it. Yeah.
I'm driving through the snowy mountains and icy rocks, and I'm like, "Hey, you want to be my girlfriend?" She's like, "Okay." It was it was like the 90s.
Romantic.
Yeah, it was not.
Oh, the 90s,
it wasn't.
We love that.
Yeah. I was leaving college, actually. I was leaving MV because I had a college class that morning. And then she was like, call me when you get out of class. And which I normally did anyways because she was driving. And so I called her and then she asked me to be her girlfriend. And I was like, yeah, I'll be your girlfriend.
Crazy.
Aww.
Okay.
Look, you two never looked back.
No, and you couldn't pay me
to go
enough
back to
money
dating.
to go
yeah,
back
every
to
time we get
dating.
mad at each other, it's like, hey, go take a nap. and we'll talk about this later because we're not going back out there into the.
We're not going on the streets again.
No. And we sadly hear a lot of stories like yours. Like,
Yeah.
you know, people are just trying to make connections with people and get out of the, you know, just going out and partying and sleeping together and whatever. Like, they're actually looking for relationships, and it's just very, very hard. I think also too, society is very different than it used to be. And so if you're not willing to do the work to be in a relationship, it's easier for most people to be like, okay, this isn't working. I'm just going to throw my hands up and move on, you know? But I mean, we've been together for 13 years and it's been a lot of work in 13 years, you know? So if you're not willing to do that, then relationships aren't going to last.
They should have that as like you have to fill that out on the dating app. Hey, are you willing to work on relationships? Because if you're not, then they're just going to blow up.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Ortega. Oh, hi, Sharon. I can't pull it up.
Oh.
It won't let me. Jonathan Ortega. Well, what makes it official? Because nowadays people just do the whole talking situation and just stay with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. Jake, what's up? Oh God, Jake's here. Uh-oh.
Jake Chapman.
We're in trouble. Yeah.
Oh boy.
And Corey.
Oh boy.
We're about to be held accountable.
This was a question.
Is app dating literally judging a book by its cover?
I think in a lot of ways.
Kinda,
because
right?
I also think of the amount of people who I like have met in the real world, and you vibe off of somebody's personality. And sometimes like that doesn't transition well. I mean, how does it transition well into an app where you have a couple of pictures and text? You know what I mean? Like meeting people in real life actually gives you an idea of somebody. An app doesn't.
Well, even when you text, it's not like if I text you and I'm over here laughing and I don't put the correct emojis into it, you might take it as something else. Like it's you can't see my body language. You can't see me like just my sarcasm or being funny or whatever. So
yeah.
Oh, have you been catfished? CK Kevin,
100%.
have you ever met?
Yes.
Damn.
She didn't miss a beat on this. She's
It's
like,
tough out here in these streets.
Well, it's because like and again, this was probably a couple of years ago. That now, like, if a dude takes a picture without his shirt on, I would not swipe them. But I used to because, you know, we're in the CrossFit space. It seems normal, but like on a dating app, it's pretty douchey. And I realized that after talking to those people that they're all the same type of douchebag. And this bro, like all shredded, like 6-pack, and in real life, like, was that picture from 10 years ago? You look nothing like that anymore, which is fine, but you got to update those pictures because this is not accurate.
Jake, don't listen to them, Laura. I'm a delight. He is a delight, and also has the actual 6-pack that he puts on his picture.
In that picture with his kids.
Yes. Can we please? This was fun for you. I mean, we can stay on dating, but I really want to get to this is going to go into dating anyway. Your new podcast.
Yeah.
So fun. I've caught up.
Thanks.
I've watched a lot of them. You have a friend that does it with you. She's super cool. She travels with you, or she traveled with you to events or whatever?
Presley?
Yeah, Presley. Yeah. Sorry, Presley. I do know your name. I watched.
No, that's okay. It's really funny because people that know me sometimes forget her name, and people that know her sometimes forget my name, and they're like, "Oh, the girl that you always travel with." And yeah, we don't anymore because she works with HWPO, but I'll see her at events. But we used to work at Morning Chalk Up together. So we like went all over to events in like a really short amount of time. And I think that is really how our friendship developed, because we were on the road together, and you're either going to be somebody's best friend or you're going to kill the person. So luckily for us, we became best friends.
You became friends. Yeah.
Have you roped her in? Is she going to be like a regular on your show?
She might make some special appearances. I was staying with her so we could do a fun episode together. But I'll probably get her on for a couple more because it's just more fun with friends.
That was very fun.
I mean, it's brave to go on by yourself.
Yeah.
When you went on by yourself, and it's brave to go on a podcast by yourself.
Yeah. And the last one that I did like one of those, John Woolley does them all the time, the Ask Me Anything, the anonymous questions.
Yeah.
And then I answered them on the show, and that was interesting.
Yeah, are they really anonymous?
Yeah.
If I ask you a question, you can't see that it's me at all?
No. See, unless I think that there's a way that you can pay, but at the end of the day, unless somebody asked me something that was going to like threaten my life, I wouldn't pay for that.
Right. Okay.
But that's the fun part about it, is that because it could be somebody that knows you that doesn't want to come across as an asshole or unprofessional or whatever, so they can actually ask the question that they've been dying to ask you, but you can't see who it is. So it's kind of like no balls. You got no balls to ask to the face, you know? So.
Right. People were definitely, because sometimes I'll do the Ask Me Anything like through Instagram, but then you can see who the person is, and people will like ask good questions. But with this, they were very honest on what they wanted to know.
Well, hold on, I'm not gonna lose it. Jake Chapman, app idea, CrossFitter only dating app, WODs, BODs, and HOGs. We'll have to bring that up to Tyler. Like maybe we can
let him create an app,
get that app that says that. What motivated the new podcast? Is it just like, did you want it just an outlet for yourself? Was there something that was Yeah.
So I knew that I wanted to start doing stuff on my own YouTube channel. And I've known that for a while, probably after I left Morning Chalk Up. So almost 2 years ago, I was like, I know I'm obviously working with Talking Elite Fitness, but I would like to do some kind of separate style content on my own, but I just never really made the time for it. And then, you know, you start traveling and going to events and you kick the can further and further down the road. And then eventually I just started looking at my YouTube channel, which I think I made most of the videos private, but it was like all my old television stuff. That's what would come up if people went to my YouTube channel. So I had to do like a huge facelift and change the algorithm so that people would, if they like Googled my YouTube name, they wouldn't just find reporter Lauren, they would find like this content.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to have conversations outside of the CrossFit space, but I was like, okay, how could I kind of supplement doing that, making sure that it is separate from what I'm already doing with Talking Elite Fitness, but then also have a space where I can sit and talk freely with the community.
Bam.
No, you're good.
Sorry. No, I pulled something up that I should not. It was, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. So yeah, I just wanted to have one thing that was interviews with different style of people that aren't necessarily in the CrossFit space and other ecosystems. And then another show that allows, you know, people just to have transparent conversations, ask questions, get real-time answers, see life on the road. Sometimes my family's involved in the shows. So more of a laid back style piece of content, really.
It's really cool because you're putting everything out now, right? Like you have your tactical games on there. You have some interviews with people that you're doing tactical games. You have your live shows. It just, I mean, you look really, really happy doing it. Like it just, there's some sort of like Lauren Kalil glow that's happening with you doing it. And I was just kind of curious, like why that, if that was a thing that you needed an outlet where you could talk about something other than like just CrossFit games.
Yeah, I mean, I like to talk and I have so much that lives in my brain and I have so many questions that while CrossFit will always be kind of my baby and my first love with this style of content, I just wanted other ways to express ideas and styles of content. And I feel like with some of this, I can keep growing more legs with it and maybe get into some other sports and other spaces, or like Simply Manders, who's just like an influencer. She's kind of in the CrossFit space.
No, she was really cool. She was a person I followed. See, this is what I wanted to bring up that I messed up last time, I bet. But just your YouTube channel with all your stuff on it. So it's like clips and like super cool. But yeah, Simply Mander, I've
Mhm.
followed her for I've followed her for a long time. She was one of like the original influencers when the CrossFit media just like totally turned off that
Yeah.
I found. And it was kind of like she did CrossFit and then other things. Like there was like diet, nutrition,
Mhm.
whatever. And she was really cool.
Yeah, she was one of the first influencers that I followed on Instagram too, because I liked all of the like video reviews she would do on CrossFit apparel and different things like that. So I just really enjoyed how like authentic she seemed to be too, and I really related on that level. So it was cool to have her on and talk more about her story and kind of journey of discovering her own self.
Do you feel like that the push to kind of start doing your own thing? I know you said you've always wanted to do your own thing, but CrossFit was kind of the baby that you grew and nurtured and whatever. Do you feel like there was a little bit more of a push to do your own thing after the games and everything that happened at the games?
It might look like that, but honestly, the timing just coincidentally happened to be like that. I knew I was going to start doing that stuff before the games. And I even did just like a little mini doc on Victor Hoffer that I captured some good interviews at semifinals. And I was like, I kind of want to do some work like this. I love voiceover work. I love storytelling, but that takes more than just one person to create. So
Mhm.
after I did that and realized kind of how big the lift was and how I would need to outsource people if I wanted to create a really good product that I think is worth putting out there, I kind of pivoted and was like, okay, what is content that right now I can do on my own and really be self-sufficient with? And that's kind of how this all became what it is. And with the tactical games thing, I was already invested in that and doing that as well. I would say that at this point, it's almost 50-50 CrossFit tactical games with what I do.
Hey, let me, your nutrition, Jan Clark, did Lauren's nutrition coaching take off yet? I assume that's what makes her even busier. Are you doing something like that?
Oh, I do offer nutrition. Yeah.
Okay. Um,
Yeah. That's
but
just something on the side. I don't
okay.
really promote it ever. Like I work with a couple of clients locally. I can do remote too, but
Mhm.
it's one of those things that I enjoy doing. I love helping people, that if people hear about me, I'll take on clients, but I'm not really trying to grow that business, if that makes sense.
I wanted to ask you about tactical games too, because I see it everywhere, and maybe it's just because I follow CrossFitters who love tactical games, and I
Mhm.
understand the crossover between the two. But is it actually growing, or is it just because I've is it getting kind of like High Rocks, where people like the crossover is huge?
I would say that High Rocks is growing faster because the accessibility is much easier and the barrier to entry is much easier.
Yeah.
Where I would say, like with tactical games, like the cost up front is more pricey because of all of the equipment that you would need. And of course, you can borrow people's gear, and they have a lot of great like Facebook groups where people sell stuff all the time or will loan you out stuff at competitions and things like that. But right now, it is one of the fastest growing shooting sports in the US. And actually, they're going international next year. We will have a regional event out in Poland,
Damn.
Oh,
and in the following year, they want to get more out into Europe with some events too, which is really exciting.
wow, Poland. That
Mhm. Yeah, it's so random how it happened. I mean, not random, but so cool and unique how it happened. So there was maybe 2 people from Poland that signed up for one of the regional events during the season. And the owners were like, "Hey, we have these guys from Poland coming. Like, these are our first international competitors. Make sure that you interview them at some point this weekend." And I was like, "Okay, great." Well, they end up on the freaking podium in their division. And I was like, "Oh my God, like, you guys are awesome." They're like, "Yeah, we're going to sign up for another one and we're going to bring more people." And then they showed up with 6 people, and then they showed up with 8 people. And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we really want to host one of these events at our training facility in Poland. So then that kind of just started developing, and now it's a reality, which is so cool.
Yeah, I have a lot of Polish friends. Yeah, Polacks love guns. Yeah, they do. That's fair. CK Kevin, I saw Lauren at a couple of tactical games last year. Which one are you participating in this year?
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to participate in the team event in Texas. So that's the one at this massive, I don't even know what you would call it, like animal conservation, but you also can pay to go like hunt big game
That's
that
what I was gonna say. Can they
ship
hunt
over.
there? Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. People pay a
shit.
lot of money to hunt like some big game on their site. But it's really cool because last year they have like a 5-mile ruck run, and you see zebra and you see giraffe and you see like all of these animals as you're running through the area, that it just is so cool for spectators and for the athletes at that one. So me and one of the owners, Amanda, her and I are going to team up and compete together at that one. I might do another one. We'll see.
So is it like girls go against girls, girls go against guys, and like is it just
So it depends. So they'll have divisions kind of similar to CrossFit. So you'll have like the elite division, they'll have men and women. You'll have tactical division, which would be right under the elites, men and women. And then you'll have kind of what a scaled division is. They just call it intermediate for men and women. But then you'll also have team divisions that will have specifically like men's team, women's team, and then mixed team. And then you'll also have masters divisions. So most of the time it's separated by men and women, but sometimes for team stuff you can be mixed.
This is going to be the most ridiculous question ever. CK, don't laugh at me. Whatever.
It's okay. Ask it.
What is an intermediate division? Like you're intermediately good with weapons? Because I feel like that's not a good thing. Or is it like intermediate, the exercise you have to do? Like
the
what?
exercise. So the shooting stays the same for all of the divisions. It doesn't get harder or easier depending on your division. It's all the same. What will change is the amount of reps, or the amount of weight, or whether you're doing the ruck run with a 60-pound ruck or with no weight, or maybe a 20-pound ruck, or maybe the 5-mile ruck is a 3-mile ruck. So the fitness part is really what changes based on your division.
Okay, it scared me a little bit. I thought like
no, that's okay.
Okay, you're intermediate with a weapon. I feel like that's not okay.
That would be very concerning. Some red flags.
Very concerning.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, it's interesting. I don't know what your family dynamics were growing up, but for me, my parents, more my mom than I think my dad, but for a long time, we weren't even allowed to use squirt guns because of the rule, like you don't point a weapon at somebody. So it was so interesting when I was explaining to specifically my mom this new sport that I was covering and I was trying to learn about. And she was like, well, what do they shoot? Are they BBs? And I was like, no, they're actually real guns. And like the look on her face was so interesting because I don't remember what the look on my face was when I first heard tactical games. And I think living in the Midwest and working with firearms gave me a different understanding and appreciation for them. And truly the like safety protocols and like the medical team that they work with and just the way that everything flows really well. And like the education that they have with athletes, it does feel safe, even though there's so many people with guns in one location, if that makes sense.
I grew up, Olivia, I would say Lauren could meet some nice gentlemen at tactical games.
There are a lot of nice gentlemen there. That's true.
Sorry, I had something in my head, and then I'm like, no, not right now. No, that's fine. I'm gonna go back to my original. I grew up around a lot of dudes that shot guns. Their dads taught them how to shoot guns, and it was allowed, but girls weren't allowed to go. You know what I mean? So like when
interesting. Yeah.
when the boys went out with their dads to go do all that stuff, the girls weren't allowed to go. So I was never invited to go. I didn't think anything of it. I just was like, okay, whatever. Um, I, but I think it's cool now and I think it's good that women know how to do it and can go do it. And, you know, I love watching like any of the content that you put on. Sorry, Lauren, I'm already taken.
Good to know. Thank you.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. Kyle Landis. Where do people train for tactical games? I'm pretty sure if I ran around at a range, they would kick me out. Or the range I go to, they would kick me out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So when it comes to training, they do offer their different training programs. I would say like mostly, and especially, okay, let me start over. If you have never used a firearm before, you should go to their athlete camp, because that is where they really teach you not just how to safely use a weapon, but you take the weapon fully apart. So you get to learn all of the mechanics behind it and what actually makes a gun go off and how you should properly clean it, and just a lot of procedures and protocols that I think are important for people using weapons to know what you're using and how it works.
Yeah, that's
so
like
if
the
you've
bare
never
minimum.
yeah. Yes, right. You should know how the device works.
Yeah.
I also think a lot of dry fire practice, so no loaded weapons. You're using like the actual device, but there's no magazine in there, there's no bullets in there, and you're just getting comfortable with the clearing procedure and the safety procedures that they run. So making sure that your firearm is only pointed down range, and before you holster it, you're not turning with it and breaking that barrier, because then that is a safety hazard. So just running through a lot of that before you even load a weapon, I think, is one of the most important things.
Ortega, I'll have my pistol. Why do you do tactical games? You should do tactical games. I've met you. You're a little feisty little dude. I feel like you should be in there too. Like, what's up? So you should team up with Lauren and do, I don't know, mixed division or whatever that is. Let's go.
We could do that. We
Come on,
honestly,
dude.
we might do pretty good.
There you go. There's your
I've
next
been
team.
working with my camera. I'll start filming.
There's
Like
your
I
next
can,
team.
I've been playing with it, dude. Like pause.
Come get
But,
the
like,
content
yeah,
of that.
yeah, I'll do that. I mean,
So where did the interest in tactical games come from?
So it's so funny to me how things turn out. Back in, what year are we in? That's also hard for me.
24.
In
we're in 24, yeah.
2022, maybe in 2022. No, early 2023. Early 2023. Yes. We were doing some different style content for Talking Elite Fitness, and as we were seeing more CrossFitters get involved, specifically Jacob Hepner, at that point, he had already won a national championship. We thought it would be cool just to do a really quick condensed show talking about tactical games. And I was put on that assignment. So I would interview a couple of the athletes. It really was like a 5-minute show of, hey, this event happened this weekend. Here's the leaderboard. Here's a quick little soundbite from somebody we interviewed. And through that, I interviewed the owner of Tactical Games at the time, which was Jared Halbert. He no longer owns it, but he's still a competitor and still very relevant in the space. And so closer to the CrossFit Games, I started thinking, this was back in 2023, I would like to do other sports outside of CrossFit. Maybe not as much that it's like 50-50 now, but I thought, it would probably be good to diversify regardless of anything. And so I reached back out to Jared and I was like, hey, I know your national championship is coming up. I've looked on all of your content and you guys don't have like a media person or somebody who can help facilitate stories and follow athletes around and whatever. And I would love to do that. He was like, actually, I don't own Tactical Games anymore. Here's the contact of the people. And from there, I just reached out to them and I was like, hey, I would love to get involved with this. I have a background in talking about CrossFit. I prefaced it with, I'm very green on the shooting aspect of it. I have my own gun, but the language will be a challenge, but I am up for the challenge and I will make sure that I don't show up stupid type deal.
There you go. Yeah.
And I'm fine with and the competitors have been awesome because I've probably asked them a lot of dumb questions in the last year and a half, but they don't make me feel like they're dumb questions. So I appreciate that they've really helped me learn and get a better understanding of the sport and the lingo and all of that. So from there, they took a chance on me. They hired me to cover nationals, and then these last season and then this coming season, they're hiring me for all of their events. So it kind of just happened organically through a random-ish connection.
That's cool.
It happened organically. I know something's going to happen organically for you soon. I just have this feeling. I know coming back full circle. I know it's going to happen. I know it is. I have all the faith in the world.
I mean, we can both say that we got out of really bad relationships and both made the choice that we were not looking and we were not going to get with anybody. And then
I told my sister.
We found each other. So
I told my sister that same weekend that I met her for the first time, if I ever say like, hey, I want to get married, please punch me in the face. And then it was like a month and a half later where I was like, I don't
tell
even,
the truth.
and I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna ask Colleen to marry me. And I was like, but please don't punch me in the face. And it was cool. It was all good or whatever. But yeah, we were both totally on that. I'm not dating anybody. I'm not getting into a relationship at all. So it was pretty funny.
You never know.
What's up? What's the next thing you got up? Are you doing the open? Gotta ask you that.
So that was a hot topic on my live show. I had so many people ask me if I was going to do the open. And at this point, I haven't made a decision. I do truthfully feel very torn almost in both directions. And I know that neither way is going to be the right answer because people have opinions very strongly on both sides. And I can empathize and understand both sides. That sometimes that makes it harder for me to make a decision because I'm like, oh, one day I'll wake up and I'm like really amped and I want to sign up for the open and I want to be part of the affiliate and like give back to this sport and methodology that's given so much to me. But then I'll wake up the next day and think, but I don't feel like they were being held accountable for things that still need to change and be accountable. So it's honestly, I don't know.
I would say, I think about it this way. You have to do it for you, right? Like if you want to do the open, it's because you want to do the open. If you don't want to do the open, it's because you don't want to do the open. I kind of don't, for me, the decision would never be about like what anybody else thinks of whether I do it or I don't do it. And that's a hard thing to do, right? Like for us, when we kind of started talking about things that were controversial, it was like, well, no, I got to talk about them because I'm talking about them for me. I need to figure this out. I need to figure out where I stand, what I think, look stuff up that I've never looked up before ever in my entire life. And now all of a sudden I'm trying to do that. So I would just say that if anything, if I can say anything about it to anybody, it would just be, hey, if you're going to do it for you. If you wake up and want to do it, great. And whatever anybody else thinks about it, screw it. But that's hard right now, right? It's a climate that it's been hard for a long time to be able to do that.
And I think it's so unfortunate that everybody takes your decision as a personal attack on them.
Yep.
And I think that that's a dangerous world to live in because at the end of the day, I do believe that most people are just trying to do their best and they're just trying to make the best decision for them and the people in their lives. And whatever the decision is, I'm not making it to piss off anybody. I'm making it for me.
Yeah. Do you, and don't answer this if you don't feel comfortable answering this. You have throughout the years established very close relationships with athletes and on many different levels. Have you experienced any situation where an athlete is really trying to influence how you move through the situation with CrossFit. Not on either side.
Never. Honestly, like any pressure that I would feel would just be from people in the comment section, which at the end of the day, who the hell cares what they think or say?
Right.
It is not going to change how I live my life. The athletes that I've spoken with have truly been great. And it would be nice if I could speak properly. I've spoken with athletes who have all different opinions on everything. And sometimes they just don't want to come forward with that. And I respect that and understand that. But I do think that sometimes what you see on the internet isn't the full scope because of, what people do or don't want to share. So.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's always a loud majority on both sides, right? There's like, if you want to go politics, fine. Don't even go like CrossFit sides, go politics sides. There's a loud majority on the left. There's a loud majority on the right. And you kind of got to, and for the rest of us that just kind of want to be, hey, we're just trying to live our lives kind of thing. You don't want either, but it's so hard because they're always right there being that loud. And that's all people see is the loud part. And it's like, no, most of us, we're just trying to be chill. We're just trying to be over here doing our thing. And so,
but I also think it's cool to find different spaces, and that's very much what this place is for us, is coming on here and just talking it out. Like, I'm not coming in necessarily with answers on stuff, but it's very much like, hey, can we just kind of like chit chat this and let the conversation go and how it's going to go? And I think in some situations with some people, for whatever reason, they can't allow themselves that time and space for other people. It's like, you have to make a decision right now. It has to be this decision. If you don't make this decision, then you're wrong. And there's really no time to just have like a back and forth of like, okay, you're saying this. Well, first of all, this is what I'm hearing. So correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm not hearing you. And this is where I'm coming from. And then have that back and forth. And I don't think that it feels like between the comments and certain people that there is no room to be like trying to just figure it out.
Because they're right. And they don't want to hear the other side. But truthfully, that's why I've always appreciated both of you so much, because you do host an environment that makes anybody feel comfortable to come on here and speak their piece or have open dialogue. Like, you look at the guests that you've had, and it is from both sides of the spectrum.
From everywhere,
and that's so cool that you've created a space where people do feel comfortable to speak with both of you. And
other way, she's done that. Where is that? She's done that. She did it.
Because I have questions. I just want to be able to ask people questions. I want to know what you think. It's like, if you had a specific thing and you're like, hey, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing. Okay, cool. Like, you don't have to. I'm not saying you do, but just why? And you say why, and then just in a lot of extra slop. What's up, dude? I always love your profile picture. In a lot of situations, it feels like a kid from a broken home. Parents hate each other. You're always in the middle of it, trying to figure it out. Like, yeah, that's a good analogy.
That is a good analogy.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. And it's kind of hard to shut up, crowbar. Shut up. We don't say that here. It's not a safe space. It's just a comfortable space. No, I'm just trigger words. We don't do or whatever those words are, buzzwords. We don't do that.
We don't do buzzwords.
No buzzwords. But like, and you feel like you have to walk around on eggshells. And it's like, this sucks. I had a mom. I had to walk around on eggshells all the time when it came to her, because I never knew what was going to set her off. And so it was constant that. So to feel like you have to walk around on eggshells all the time, that's exhausting. There's,
it's no way to live.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jan. We love you too.
We appreciate you, dude. Maybe that means I'll come to the tent at the Rogue Invitational.
I told you, if you go and stay in the tent, I'm still going to be in the hotel room with the baby. You can go hang out with the boys. But wait, no, didn't Vindicate say that if you go stay in the tent, that's an immediate two-star deduction?
No, yeah, I can't stay in the tent. I'm going to lose stars. I have to maintain my 5-star lesbian status. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that.
The important things.
I can't
Yeah.
stay in a tent full of hogs, even though I like.
Jan, I doubt that she watches you and Jake on the hog shows that
I'm
we
sure
have
she
here.
does
I'm
not.
sure she does not watch those.
That's what we mean by we talk to everybody on our different shows, and it's fine.
Yeah.
I would love to see like a woman's like the same way that we do hog talk, where I just ask a bunch of dudes questions because I have no idea what a penis does. So I'll just ask all the questions. But I would love to see a bunch of women do that. Like I would love, you know what I mean? Just like pull up reels and shit and be like, oh yeah, that's real. That's not real. No, we never say that. No, we always say that. Like I would love that. It would be amazing. You know what I mean? Like when you had the the reel the other day of underboob getting stuck.
Oh yeah,
that happened. Like yes, underboob
the
things
bruises on my underboobs from over the years with bar muscle ups. It's bad, like really bad. And this is how I know that I've gotten better at them, because now just the middle of my stomach bruises. So the boobies are getting over. It's a happy day.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Oh, Olivia, you're in. Oh, girl, DM me.
Let's do it.
Because that too. Even no, there's a lot of men in here. We won't do this. No, I'm just kidding. Like just over time, as like we get older or whatever, our bodies change and things happen, and like things happen. Like so now, right before my period, my boobs hurt. Like you would feel like I was pregnant, and like like there's weird shit that happens to us, but we never get to, like we need a show like that. I'm just saying we need a show.
Yeah. Listen, and your body is literally never the same after you pop out a 9-pound baby. At all. My body will never be the same ever. That is another reason why I never want to date someone new, because my wife loves me, accepts me for exactly who I am, what my body looks like and is now. So yeah. So
oh my God, girl. But please keep doing your podcast. It's awesome. I watch it and I want to know all the things too. Like I want to know your dating life. I want to know the trials, and because I think that's really real. And for you're 33, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your dating world was way different than my dating world. I never went through
things have changed in the last decade with dating. That is for damn sure.
And also watching women. Oh, hey, can I ask you this? How many like butch lesbians love you and are in your DMs and just like, hey, Lauren, can I take you out?
More than men.
Shut up, really?
Swear to God. Yeah.
Of course.
Game recognized game.
I attract the ladies.
Well, you're out there shooting guns and tactical gear and boots and shit. What you think was gonna happen?
Yeah. And you're always posting in your workout clothes with your Fleo cutoffs and your.
But I still got the little sparkle.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you get feminine lesbians or do you get like butch lesbians?
The second.
Butch lesbians.
Yeah.
We know what's up. That's fire. You give off that vibe. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. It is.
I also have been invited to a couple of threesomes before. Like I've had couples approach me, never through DMs, but in person.
Straight couples?
Shut the fuck up.
Yes, straight couples.
Wow.
Yeah.
They approach you in person? Just walk up and
say,
hey.
Yeah. I will never forget. So it's happened at 2 CrossFit events too. And it happened once when I was a reporter, and we had to go to this every year. We go to the state fair and we do a live show there. And this is so cringe. I hate saying this out loud, but we had an autograph signing booth where like our faces, so cringe. Like, who wants an autograph of a news reporter? That's so stupid. My mom is the only one who should want that, not like random old men who are watching the news. Weird. But I had this couple approach me and they told me they had been watching me for years and they came to the state fair specifically to ask me and invite me into their bedroom.
They've been watching you for years. That means that they've been like,
yeah,
that's tough.
Awkward.
Okay.
And then they asked for an autograph and I'm like, oh my God,
wow.
Lord help me.
Gross. Gross.
Is that a compliment? I mean, I guess in a weird way it's a compliment, but also too
Maybe
like
not one that I want though.
damn.
Yeah.
Okay. What? Hey, listen, I told you about the throuple that was actually at Vitruvian Games, right? Like I
Oh
told you
yeah.
that was weird. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
super weird. And I graduated with that girl from high school, so I was so confused because I was like, "You're straight. Like you've been straight your entire life, but I guess that doesn't count. I whatever. It's fine." Um, no, Jan, stop it, Jan. Oh boy.
Jan, I'm keeping an eye on you on the comment section. I see you.
And him and Jake are in here together.
Yeah, that's always a recipe for.
Oh, this is a good question though from Slop. Oh, my bad.
Did I miss it? Does the husband or wife usually? Oh, who usually asks, the husband or wife?
Oh, it's always the wife.
Yeah, you got
And
it.
the man just kind of awkwardly stands there. They're like,
Just makes it weird.
That makes it worse.
That makes it weird.
Absolutely worse.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Well, I guess now we know we're learning what it's like to be a public figure through you. We're living vicariously through you.
But and like the thing is, it's just in the CrossFit and tactical game space. This is so small that it gives me such a like really, 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 really tiny insight to somebody who's actually public forward facing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if these are the things I get, dear Lord, help like
Oh my gosh.
the sideline reporters of the NFL or whatever.
Yeah, what's her name? What's
Erin
Erin
Andrews.
Andrews?
Yeah.
Holy, yeah. Okay.
I can only imagine.
No,
I am proud of lesbians as a whole for hitting on you. So good job. Good job, Les. Good job. Way to represent. Thank you. Appreciate you. You're doing a good job. And oh my God, girl. We can't wait another like 5 months to catch up. Like I have to catch up with you after your travel. Like once you do some traveling and come back, we gotta hear more. It's fire.
We'll catch up and hopefully I'll see you both at more of them.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. I'm trying really hard.
Okay.
But Colleen's going, are you going to be up there for Christmas? Because Colleen's going up to Utica for right after Christmas with the baby.
Oh my God. Yeah. Text me. Let me know.
Yeah. I'm going to drive up the day after Christmas. We'll stay for a couple days. So
why aren't you both coming?
Because she stays home.
I have to stay home with Deli, and we just got a new
Okay.
puppy too, so I don't want to board her. Like my older guy, he could get boarded, but she's too young right now to do. I don't want to give her all those shots to be able to be boarded. So
that's fair.
And also, yeah,
she likes to stay home.
She
likes to stay home.
I get that.
As long as they're safe, I'm fine. I know that they'll like everybody's up there for them. So
yeah, I literally bring him up to go see my parents and my in-laws and a couple friends that I have up there, and that's kind of it.
You can't go. You have to stay home and babysit me. Sorry. Oh, there you go. Jake Chapman, this is your last one, dude. Does Lauren prefer delts or glutes on a man?
Ooh, can I have them both?
I'm greedy.
Well,
okay, fair. Actually, I'll hit you with one that isn't on that. The eyes. Somebody with good eyes steal my heart.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not that good. It was her butt. When her butt walked out of the room and I watched it walk out of the room, that was it. It was over. I put a ring on it.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
When she fell out the chair.
All right, guys.
I love that story.
Thank you for hanging out with us.
Goodbye, Jan.
We appreciate. Yeah. Good night, Jan. Go to sleep. We'll see you guys after the holidays, Jan and Jake, for the Yeah, we're gonna do it after holidays.
And I'm giving up my chair this time. So phone a friend. So because I went on the Hog Show and they thought it was great, but I just felt like that they're not as open while I'm sitting there on screen.
Okay.
Like I'm still listening and I'm laughing. That was the funny part about that show, is that you could still hear me laughing in the background. But I just felt like that I took away kind of like the impact of the show. So I told them after, like, I probably shouldn't. somebody else could take my spot, but they all said it was fine. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You are,
I think
Jake, you'll be on the next show.
Boycotting.
No way. You are not. Knock it off.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight.
No beast. I will not get converted. No, I'm good.
I don't even know what that means. I don't want to know what that means. We've never converted anybody like that. That's not what we do here. It's not. All right, guys. Love y'all. Have a great night. We'll talk to you on next Friday. We'll be on Friday. All right. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.